Dennis O'Rourke.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. At first reading, New Zealand First supported this bill to the Select Committee stage, but I said then that we would not necessarily support it any further. And since then, two things have become clear. Firstly, in terms of context, we know now that the government, despite its unconvincing denials, has been planning military engagement in Iraq of a sizable number of troops. This is not what most people want, and it's not what New Zealand First wants. We want to stay out of it. If ISIS did not know New Zealand before now, then it certainly does at this stage. We are now definitely an active and direct enemy, and that means an increased risk for New Zealand and not less. Secondly, we've learned that the great majority of people who submitted do not want this bill, because it means giving up some important rights without sufficient cause and without any genuine case for urgency having been made out. Now, Mr Fletcher-Tabato is going to speak more about what the people who submitted to the Select Committee said. But I want to simply say this: New Zealand First does not support the deployment of New Zealand troops to Iraq on any basis.
Order.
And we will vote against.
Order. Now, can I remind the member we are now in the committee stages. We have accepted the principle of the bill and we're now discussing the specific clauses in the committee as to whether or not the House accepts the specific clauses. Therefore, it is important to address those clauses. Mr O'Rourke.
And I certainly will be doing that, Mr Chairman. And I was saying this, Mr Chairman, that there is no urgent or sufficient threat to New Zealand to justify any of the clauses of this bill. The assessed threat is low and is not expected. So it's very sad to see Labor supporting the contents of this bill. And it is not just the contents, but also the disgraceful fast-tracking of it, which has upset so many people and treated the public with a lot of disdain, I think, along the way. And we are entitled to ask, even at this stage, why the rush now, given that foreign fighters have been going to Syria and Iraq for months, if not years? Why was the public not told that the deployment of troops was planned during the election campaign? Why was the attack on human rights in this bill not...
Order. I have warned the member.
Dr Kennedy Graham.